Stay focused on what you want to happen and what God's will is for your life if you stay focused. Another thing that I learned in 2018, towards the end more like, and I'm bringing into basically the rest of my life, is practicing gratefulness. Now, when people say be grateful for the good, be grateful for the bad, it's not some pretty little statement that people just say when they're going through things. It really does help to change your perspective. Like, say you lost your job, and so you're saying, so what, I'm supposed to be grateful because I've lost my job. Be grateful that you had a job to lose, because people that have passed, like some people don't have a job to even lose. Like, they're just there on the streets, cold, wishing they had a job, wishing they had something to even complain about. Being grateful really helps to humble you and changes your perspective on things. So practicing a heart of gratefulness will really get you further than focusing on things that's gone wrong. Be grateful that your mind is still ticking, that you're still able to analyze what's happening around you and make something of it. All this intel that you're gathering when things happen is for you to even help someone else and for you to build your character and make you just a more well-rounded person, a more cultured person. Practicing a heart of gratefulness will really help you to stay more positive. One thing that I learned in 2018 is, as shook as I am of approaching people have that same feeling about me. That was hard for me to understand, because I was like, there's no way that people can be scared to approach me. I've been told by a lot of people around me that I'm kind of scary. I've only just accepted that now, but it's kind of peak to think of yourself as a scary person. It's mostly because I have a resting straight face. Like on a daily, like I literally just look like that. Like, it's not, I'm not thinking anything like of malice, so I'm not like just being miserable. Like, my face generally just set to like that, and that makes it hard for you to be approached sometimes. And even me, like when I'm looking around, like that person don't want me to go up to them. Like, why am I gonna go up to them for? Like, and just have my big face in their face, like, for what? But it doesn't, and that leads on to my next point. It doesn't cost to be nice. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people. And you can be nice to people without being naive or without being used or taken advantage of. You can just be like, hey, you look great today, or that color really makes your skin glow, like, or, you know, like, your smile is so beautiful. Like, it doesn't cost you to be nice to someone, especially because you don't know what people are going through, and your one nice thing of that day might just make their whole entire like existence. The amount of times that people have just said, do you know what, like, you look really like good today, and I'm thinking, are you dumb? Like, I woke up, there's bags, there's big Louis Vuitton underneath my back, underneath my eye. Like, I've had no sleep, like, and the week would have just been trash, but people just be like, but you look great. I'm like, that's only the grace of God, you know, because if you only knew the week that I had, if you only knew the week that I just had, it doesn't cost you to be nice to anybody, to impact someone positively. Like, I challenge you at least one time a day to do something nice for someone. Say something nice. And if it ain't nice, sorry, if they're not your brethren, that you can basically be like, nah, don't do that again. If it ain't nice, don't say it, unless it's constructive criticism. And there's still a way to say it. It's not even what you say, it's the way that you say it. Even if someone's like, no, honestly, even sometimes when it's constructive criticism, sometimes you just need your friends to tell you. Because sometimes people are like, oh yeah, it's constructive criticism, but you're outright just cussing the person. Like, leave that person's tribe to deal with that person. You don't need to tell people what's wrong with them all the time. Tell them what's right with them, so they've got something to build upon. They've got other people that they're accountable to help build what they're not so strong in. But encourage people as wanting to bring everything about them up to another level, rather than just slating them and tell them what they need to work on. Tell them what they did good. Tell them something nice and worthwhile. Another thing I learned this year, that forgiveness is liquid gold. Forgiveness is actually liquid gold. Forgiveness is not even for other people, it's for you. And you know when people are like, yeah, but I'm not forgiving you for you, I'm doing it for me. It's not even out of a place of selfishness. You think of all the things that you're inhibiting because you're choosing to hold on to something that has happened. You're not going to redeem that time back. So there's no point of you like boiling over it and brewing over it in your mind. Like, you can't even make good tea from it. So why are you still trying to hold on to it? Forgiveness, man. When the Bible says that it's better to give than receive, it's not even a joke. Forgiveness is really it brings out the best in you. It brings out things that, especially when you've learned. Yes? Who? Chanel? Yeah. Chanel, I'm filming! Oh, you're going? Are you there now? Do you want to get me that long barbecue thing?
Long Texas barbecue.
That. Yeah, because they got that machine in it. Yeah, I'll take a drink.
Take a drink.
Yeah? Bye.
Oh, see ya.
Papa interrupted my point and I have to go back from the start. I was on a roll as well. It's better to give than receive. To even forgive yourself will do you wonders. Forgiveness is really a gift that you give to yourself. To forgive, I feel like it is just for you to give away things that were painful. Is to give yourself the freedom to just move on. And it's not that forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean forget. And when to say I forgive but don't forget, you forgive but you don't forget the lesson. Because over time, if there's true forgiveness, there's no pain anymore, but you still have wisdom. And that's what I feel like it means when you forgive and you don't forget. You don't forget the lessons that you've learned. You don't forget how not to make people feel. And I feel like that's why forgiveness is really liquid gold, because it's so valuable that they don't even teach it enough. Like, forgiveness is like, it really does make your heart happy. And people say that it's not for you, but it kind of is for other people as well, because the amount that the lightness that you feel, and you're able to be used by God in that way. Like, you're emptying yourself of all the unnecessary things, and like when you're a vessel ready to be used, like there's nothing to then inhibit your gifts to flow. So forgiveness is really for yourself initially, but then it then translates to be helpful for everybody. So forgiveness is liquid gold. It's good stuff, you know. So the last two things that I want to say, okay, so this was the main reason why I didn't even want to make a YouTube channel, because I was like, every Tom, Dick and Harry is doing one, so why do I want to do one? But no one is going to do something exactly the way that you do it. There's going to be like similarities, because that's just the way that humanity is. Like, you're going to be like, you might be jokes like some person, or you might be the same skin tone as some person, or someone else might be doing makeup, or like, you know, like there's going to be similarities. That's how we get communities. That's how people build bonds. But no one's going to do it exactly the way you do it. And that's what the world needs, more uniqueness. Just because someone else is doing something that you really want to do, that you feel like in your heart, like you really want to do something, and especially if it's in close proximity, it kind of feels like everyone's doing, like no one's really branching out. But honestly, I'm telling you from experience, don't worry about what other people are doing, because you don't know the motives behind why they're doing it. What they're doing is to reach a whole different audience that you may never be able to reach, because that's just not your demographic. That's just not the way you were built, that's just not who you're meant to reach. I give this analogy that my sister saw on Twitter and she told me, if you go down like you're going Sainsbury's, yeah, and you go down the bread aisle, the most bread is there. You've got like Hovis, you've got like the own brand, you've got like, I don't even know what the bread off the top of my head, yeah, but you've got like organic bread, you've got like seeded, the most seeded things, you've got like gluten-free, all these different types of bread, yeah, that's meant to reach different consumers. If one of those brands was like, oh, I don't want to make bread because everyone's already making that kind of bread, there's something in your bread that people will like. There's your recipe that be like, you know what, when that's toasted, yeah, and when you've got butter on it, that toast is bad. Or when you just want like a nice sandwich, this bread holds mayonnaise better. Can tell I love food, innit? This bread like holds the butter good, like it don't seep through. Or this bread is better with like to accompany dinner. Like there's something in everything that people need for a certain season, and if you choose to hold on to it just because you're worried about someone else is doing it, especially if they're like in your like social circle, that's it, if they're in your social group, it doesn't matter, because you never know, down the line you like might be able to do collaborations and reach more people and cross over like your audiences. You never know, you just never know, like doing what you really want to do will bring for you. And that leads on to my last point. Being yourself is the best gift that you can give anyone. I say this because we've all been made up with specific DNA strands, all the proteins and whatnot, and all the genes have chemical reactions with each other and produce unique results, character traits and everything, even looks. You can look similar apart from if you're identical twins, but even they're not the same. The way they express themselves, there's got to be a way that you can tell the difference between the two. So when you're yourself, there's people that are literally relying on you being you to bring them out of what they're going through in a specific season. If I'm gonna use an example, if Will Smith decided that he didn't want to be the freshest Prince of Bel-Air, if he decided he didn't want to do that, the amount of times that I've been busting up, being grateful that he wanted to be his authentic self, thinking I can be my authentic self too. I can wear a shirt that is pajazzed as that, like has all that pizzazz and whatnot, and feel no way because I'm comfortable with being myself. And it just goes to show that you never know what being yourself will do. And because it's exhausting trying to be something that you're not. If someone's already got, like somebody's already being their self and you go and copy them, you don't need to of something, because like unless you need you only need to of something. Oh, that's mad, you know. Okay, let's see if I can get this out. You only need two of something if something's on its way out. Once you finish your first bottle of foundation, that's the only time you're going to move on to the next one. You were born for your relevant generation because there's something inside you that is relevant for the time that you're in, for the time period that you're in. And you holding onto it, it likens itself to when you get this was lashing me, you know, when you get the parable of the talents. And I've got notes on it actually. It's Matthew 25 from 14 to 30, just for your study purposes. And it says here, one dude, well, I'm assuming that they're dudes, but one dude got 5, one dude got 2, and one dude got 1. Verse 19, after a long time, the Lord of the servants cometh and reckoned with them. To verse 24 says, he that received 1 talent came to the Lord and said, I knew thou wert a hard man, reaping thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. Verse 25, and I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Can you imagine that servant was so shook of what people was going to say or whatever, that he buried it. Some of us do that. We're like, I know that I'm gifted at this, but I'd really rather not expose myself and open myself to be the chance of being rejected. I'd rather just bury it and forget about it. You know, the master come back and liken him to be a wicked servant. You are actually doing everyone else around you an injustice by holding on to the gifts and talents that you have. You're doing everyone an injustice. He gave everybody a long time, so over your lifespan you've got time to work on the talents that you have been given and to produce fruit, at least 100-fold. At least 100-fold. You've got plenty of time. You've been given the grace of time to do what you need to do. God's not unfair like that. He's not giving one person 1 week and one person 2 weeks. You've been graced with the necessary amount of time to produce the necessary fruit from what gifts you've been given. Because even if you don't help people around you directly, you're reaching someone across nations that you never might meet face to face, but you've pulled them out of something, and vice versa. You may never meet these celebrities face to face, but some of their music has pulled you out of some dark places, because you're like, listen, if it weren't for that song, you don't know what would have happened to you. So you don't know where your gift is. Your gift will bring you before great men. You don't know that you being just even your gift of baking cake, like, you never know where that's gonna take you. Like, someone that might flash them back to where, like, it might remind them of a loved one, or it might want them, like, they might cause that they want to use that gift to even bless other people. Your gift can be given as a gift. Like, you just never know. That's why I always say, like, 2019 is the year of being yourself and being yourself unapologetically. And I'm not saying be bad man and bad breed. That's not being yourself, because it brings out the best in people and brings out the best in you. And that's all we can ever ask from people, is to be themselves. That's the biggest freedom you can give to someone, is to be themselves. So if you don't take anything out of this video, all I can say to you is being yourself. It frees you to meet people. It frees you to mix with other people, because if everyone's being their self, like, if everyone is working on themselves to be the best version that they can be, this world would really just start to blossom, and communities around you would really just benefit off each other. The same way you've got like a body, right? And you've got hands, you've got like kneecaps. If your kneecaps are being the best kneecaps, then they're supporting the thigh, and the thigh is being the best that they can be. Like, you can kick, you can walk. There's so many things that you can do once you've worked on, like, the amount of things that you can do with your hands, these phalanges, love that word. The word of the day is phalanges, which is basically the bones in your finger. The amount of things that you can do with your fingers, if this thumb decided not to be the best thumb, it would inhibit all the fingers of doing functions. Like, you need it to write, you need it to paint, you need it to type. Like, don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Like, there's no point of you trying to hold on to things that you know that someone else can benefit from, and vice versa. Someone else being themselves is gonna free you as well. So I say 2019 is the year of being yourself. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it if you enjoyed it. Even if you didn't enjoy it, comment down below, let me know what you'd like to see more. Any video suggestions are welcome. Don't forget to share, subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see more of what 2019 is gonna bring. I'm really excited to share projects that I'll be doing, hopefully some collaborations. You never know, man. Just be yourself and go ahead and be great. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.